9. So let me also pose the question to the sport lovers. We were defeated with 2 penalties. What happened? For those who watched. It wasn't our time. Yeah. No, but even the second penalty with the VAR, Jamal came and went, and who touched the ball first? But because there was no VAR, so yes. You accept it? Yes. And we start when we're all here. What is he doing? No, ask him to come. He can always get back to the SG. Because he can't just walk in unless he's still trying to get some data, some airtime. It was going to be a big humiliation to Algeria. But you could see their fans were not even happy. They were like, this win here. Atima, yeah, I can hear you clear your throat. Please come. Clophidia of NRM in. Is the distance from the testimonies anchored on the massive turn-up of the supporters of the NRM to hear from the NRM presidential candidate in West Nile. We are optimistic that in the 2026 general elections, the national resistance movement from the presidential candidate, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, will be able to win with a landslide victory in West Nile. And the prospective win of the NRM is premised or anchored on the fact that the people of West Nile remember where they are from, they know where they are, and they know that it is only the NRM that can deliver them to their next destination. From the testimonies you have heard from the NRM leaders, this is a region that primarily in the past was leading in producing Ugandans who would run to exile. But under the NRM, all of them are now back home. And Uganda is now making history as the #1 hosting refugee country in Africa, as opposed to producing refugees in the past. And majority of them were from West Nile. In West Nile alone, the NRM under the leadership of President Museveni was able to dialogue, was able to persuade a number of groups that were against government, the West Nile Bank Front, Uganda National Rescue Front 1 and 2, were some of the groups operating in West Nile. But the president was able to persuade them. Now, issue #1, which is very, very primary to the people of West Nile, before you talk about development, before you talk about wealth creation, is the sustainable peace that they are witnessing today. You could hear me in Koboko yesterday speaking about 5 different languages to greet people, including Sangonine, which is Lingala. So that means Uganda, West Nile, is now a cosmopolitan region that is hosting quite a number of people within and without Uganda. So the people of West Nile know that out of the 8 presidential candidates, the one who will guarantee the current peace is none other than President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the presidential candidate of NRM. As chairperson of the NRM Parliamentary Caucus, I wish to confirm that His Excellency the President and the NRM National Chairperson met with the current or the incumbent NRM MPs who are serving in the 11th Parliament, who participated in the recent NRM primaries but lost, and majority of them have declared to come back and contest as independent. The meeting was primarily meant for the NRM National Chairperson to communicate the position of NRM, to communicate the position of the Central Executive Committee, because this matter was discussed in the NRM SEC, and a decision was taken that the NRM needs to reach out and persuade and appeal to its members who participated in the recent NRM primaries but lost and are considering to come back and contest as independent candidates to reconsider their position such that they do not contest as independents. Because when they contest as independents, we run the risk of dividing the solid support of the NRM. So the main purpose of the meeting was meant for the NRM national chairman to make this communication clear. I am happy that in that group, there are people who even decided that they would not contest. Yesterday in Koboko, you could hear me introduce to the national chairman 22 former aspirants or candidates who participated in the NRM primaries. That was only West Nile. But they have listened to the clarion call of the NRM, they have listened to the clarion call of the NRM national chairman, and they have taken a decision that they will not contest as independents. Out of 22, as of yesterday, in West Nile alone, 19 of them participated in the primaries at parliamentary level, 2 at LC5, 1 at mayoral level. So that is the message that the NRM, through the chairman, the NRM, through members of the Central Executive Committee, the NRM leaders are relaying to its members. It is an appeal to persuade them. It is not a directive, because we are live of the constitutional provision under Article 72 of our national constitution. Our guidance, as I've stated, is very, very clear that the NRM would not love to have its support base in any constituency divided. That is one. So if you are loyal to your party, if you claim to be a member of NRM who participated in the internal democratic processes, and you still say you are loyal to your party, what would be the problem of you listening to what your party is telling you? Because the implication may not be seen now. The implication may even come in the future. Just imagine you defy your party and you contest, and there is any future consideration. I defied the party, I contested. He listened to the party, he did not contest. And there is any consideration between the two of us. Who must stand the higher chance? It would be him, not me.
Just lastly from me.
A candidate sponsored by NRM, there is completely no way you can use the symbol of NRM, because the symbol of NRM is the bus, and the bus can only be used by a designated and unelected candidate of NRM that will go through the due processes of getting the stamp from the NRM Secretariat, getting an introductory letter from the NRM Secretariat. So that sign, that symbol of the bus, is only designated for the NRM candidates.
Yes, just lastly from
The fact is, in the 2025 NRM primaries, there were about 400 petitions at parliamentary level. But when you do a comparative analysis to the 2020 primaries of NRM, we had over 1,000 petitions. So the judgment on whether it was a bit fairer this side compared to 2020, I leave it to you. 1,000 plus petitions versus 400. Now, even in situations where the tribunal ordered for re-election in certain constituencies that were contested, you have seen that in those elections, those that were declared even earlier on won even with much more bigger and better margins. We have seen this, because there are areas where the tribunal said, please go back and hold a fresh election. Those who had been earlier on declared, their elections were contested through a formal petition, are again won. So to me, that judgment, I want to leave it to you and me who participated. That indeed, I participated against Honorable Atima. I contested his win. I went to a tribunal. The tribunal listened to my story. The tribunal ordered for a re-election. I went back with the same person. He ended up defeating me with even a much more bigger and better margin than the first one. What does that communicate to you? That must tell you that the candidate you contested against and you petition is more popular than yourself, because you have tried twice. Yes, for me, that must be the bottom line. The bottom line is the petitions were fewer this side compared to the last time. Even where the tribunal ordered for re-election, those who were declared won with even bigger margin. So what message does that send to you? And the standard in an election is not free and excellent, is not free and very good, is not free and good. The standard across the globe is free and fair.
Yes, Honorable. We yesterday had the President directing.
The directive I received, which I judiciously executed with precision, was on the funds meant for the beneficiaries under the skilling hubs, not PDM. In a quick check, we were able to establish that indeed the funds have been sent. And I want to confirm that all the circles formed by trainees under the presidential skilling hubs, circles formed in cities, in municipalities, and in districts, have all received 50 million Uganda shillings into their account. That is one. Two is that the money is still in the accounts because a team from State House will be moving region by region or sub-region by sub-region to first train the beneficiaries before they start accessing. But in terms of funding, I can confirm that all districts in Uganda, all the beneficiaries who form circles under the Presidential Industrial Hub, their circle accounts, each has 50 million Uganda shillings. Each, all over the country. That one is confirmed. What happened in Maracha to me was more of a mob justice. Because Maracha alone, in phase 1 training, phase 2 training, phase 3 training, and phase 4, there are 82 young people from Maracha. Instead of the whole crowd answering when they did not benefit from the training, they should have left it to one of the 82 to come and respond whether the money is there. But later on, I came back, I reported with the name of the bank manager, the number of the bank manager, confirming the account name, confirming the account number, confirming the fact that on 22nd of September 2025, 50 million Uganda shillings was deposited on that account. And the account initially had about 300,000. So the money on the account is 50,300,000 plus. So that one is confirmed. So I also want to appeal to Ugandans that we should not act out of emotions. When we are talking about PDM and you have not benefited, first give an opportunity to someone who has benefited to give a testimony. Because PDM is being rolled out after every 1 year, 100, 100, 100. If we have rolled out now for 3 years, those are 300 people or homestead in a parish. If you are not yet one of them, why must you say the money is not coming here? And yet there are 300 families, 300 individuals who have benefited. If you are not one of them. So you could see yesterday, the answer was spontaneous, and the crowd that had acted as a judge, as a prosecutor to the RDC of Maracha, got to know that the man is there. Yes. The late Right Honorable Raila Odinga can be described as a Kenyan statesman, as an encyclopedia. The late Raila Odinga, the former Prime Minister of Kenya, can be described as a Kenyan statesman, an encyclopedia of Kenyan politics, and a Pan-Africanist for the time he lived. I am saying this because there is a lot for us, especially Ugandan opposition, to learn from the late Raila Odinga. As a Pan-Africanist, as a statesman in Kenya, as an encyclopedia of politics in Kenya. We must know that our countries are bigger than all of us and can accommodate all of us. And that is what the late Raila Odinga demonstrated to the people of Kenya. That when I contest against you, we are not enemies. We all have a common agenda. I can still join you and we work together for the common good of the people of Kenya. That is the lesson he leaves behind for opposition politicians in other countries within and without East Africa to learn.
A region which looked like a wilderness because the people from the region were always in refugee areas in Congo and South Sudan. But when NRM government took over power, the people were called back to come and settle, to begin to do development in their own country, to begin to live lives in their own country. So all those who were refugees in foreign countries came back. That is why we are able to see the population that has been coming out to receive His Excellency, to give him assurance for the support for 2026, 2031. The peace and stability this region has received has enabled us to achieve a lot of developments in as far as infrastructure, in as far as social development, in as far as livelihoods are concerned. The infrastructural development I must talk about is the road network that we see now. Most of you have moved in the region right from Karuma. If you hail from Kampala, Karuma, and Arua, you find the road network goes up to the borders of DRC and South Sudan with the tarmacs. And within the regions, the districts in the region, the road network is very clear. This tells you that the country, the region, has received development in that area. You take the issue of health. The health sector has improved tremendously. The health center 2s have been upgraded in all the districts to health center 3s. The health center 3s, the majority of them have been upgraded to health center 4s. Our regional referral hospital, that is Arua, which was in a very sorry state before the government intervened, you can now see it elevated with several departments that you see. The newest regional blood bank has been established. There's ICU department that has been established. There's new OPD that has been constructed. On top of all this, in Arua Regional Referral Hospital, additional regional referral hospital has been added in the region. This is a region that has 2 regional referral hospitals, with Yumbe being the newest regional referral hospital. In the education sector, we used to have 1 university in this country, that is Makerere University. But as I talk now, West Nile has a government university, that is Moni University, which is offering sciences, and they have also added on arts courses, and it is doing a lot in the region, and other universities and tertiary institutions that have come to the region. These are the developments that we have seen in the social aspect and also infrastructure. Then when you come to the wealth creation program that His Excellency has embarked on, It has transformed lives. It has transformed households in the region. When the president was coming to Arua, before his coming, we had a precursor, a kasiki for the president with Honorable Minister Balam. People came to give testimonies of how these programs have performed and transformed the lives of the people in Arua City. 1 million given to a household was able to expand within 2 years to 30 million. 1, 2, 3 youths came and testified that 1 million has earned for them 30 million. Meaning these programs like youth empowerment, the women empowerment, the PDM, the Mioga are doing a lot. So on social transformation, wealth creation has taken the lead in the region, and West Nile is doing so well. So with all this, including the recently connection of West Nile to national grid, which has made things very easier for the people, meaning now the lives and development in this region will go at a higher speed, making this region shine as other regions do. So the region has all reasons to support NRM government, to support President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni as our presidential flag bearer for NRM. That's why you can now see the testimony with the numbers that turned up to come and rally support for President Museveni right from the time he started in Pakwach, and yesterday we saw how it ended in Koboko after having a massive one in Arua. So we have joined hands together to rally our support. Come 2026, President Yoweri Museveni will get a landslide victory with over 90% from West Nile. Thank you. I want to start with the last one. People coming from South Sudan to attack in Uganda, I may not talk much about that because I don't work with security. That one needs security personnel to answer that. And then on the issue of the national, the airfield being upgraded to international airport, we, the leaders of this region, have raised this before the government. We have presented it on the floor of Parliament, and the Right Honorable Prime Minister was here officiating at the National World Tourism Day in Arua, and she landed in the airfield. And when we raised that as one of the challenges facing this region, Arua Airfield being the second biggest to Entebbe in the country, that really needed urgent attention, the Prime Minister assured the gathering that a contractor has already been sought by the government of Uganda. This airfield will be upgraded into airport. So what we only need is to keep reminding government to expedite that process so that the airfield can be upgraded, of course, which will now promote trade between the region, between the countries in the region, DRC, South Sudan, Central African Republic, and beyond. So upgrading Arua Airfield into international airport will really take this region to higher strides of economic transformation for this country.